Hello everybody. It looks like that background audio might be a little bit too loud, so let me get that fixed for everybody. Welcome everybody to Solo Rolling. It has been quite some time since I have truly actually been alone and solo for this series. A little nervous, but also pretty excited because tonight we have got 8 Petals Argent Part 2, which is called Fight for the Dawn Saber, as you see on the screen here. And just as a quick little recap, so if you are new to the channel, first off, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. And second off, what we do here, what usually just I do here, is I play Dungeons and Dragons by myself without a DM by playing through these things called solo adventures. And sorry about that. Thought it said fight for Dan at first. Yeah, fight for the Dan. Now that is gonna be maybe part 3 of the 8-part series. We need to save Dan. He cannot die. No, but sorry. So yeah, what we usually do here is we play through solo adventures, and it's kind of like a choose your own adventure books with D&D added in also, and they're always a lot of fun. I always have great pleasure playing these. The last couple episodes, I think the last 4 have been what I've been calling duo rolling, where we were playing through one adventure module thing that had myself and Jeremy Fair playing through it. And we have beaten that. And even prior to that, I had a couple other one-shots before I played 8 Petals Argent Part 1. So I do believe it has been at least probably 3 months since I played Part 1, and it was a ton of fun. These are very, very long solo adventures, so you definitely get your money's worth when you buy these. I am going to be reprising my character from Part 1, but if you didn't watch the series on the first one, I think you should be okay for this. All you should need to know is this quick recap I will do right here. And again, it's been about 3 months since I played this, so let's see how good we do. So, I am Harry Three Fingers. I am a Minotaur Barbarian who thinks I'm a lot more sneaky and roguelike than I really am. And I was part of the Slipstone gang, I think it was, in Waterdeep? Waterdeep or Neverwinter? I'm pretty sure Waterdeep. And I keep checking chat because Randall's down there, and I'm hoping Randall will help me fill in the gaps that I miss. I took off a year from town and went on kind of a sabbatical and wanted to try my hand at adventuring, and I didn't do super well. So I went back to town, kind of tail between my legs, no pun intended. And when I got back, I found out my gang, my old gang, Slipstone gang, was actually doing a job that night for something called it was like the Winter something sigil. It was a ring they were looking for. Somebody was doing a really high contract for it, but all the gangs in town were doing it. One of my team members got hurt really badly. When we actually found the ring and got it back to them, it was really a ploy to find somebody worthy of doing the real mission, which was to break into some archives and steal something from those archives that was super important. And when I got down there, the item, don't really remember, but I do remember there were some big portal monsters. When I say portal monsters, there's like a big portal, a bunch of monsters coming out, and they were trying to attack the support beams and cave it in on me. And it was a lot of fun for that fight. So, yes, that was pretty much it. And then we got back, and we succeeded on stealing the thing. And after that, I think this prologue coming up, because I have scrolled through this a little bit. Oh no, why is it doing that again? Let me see if I'm gonna have to close out or not. My Adobe sometimes likes to be a big old butthole and Okay, cool. So it looks like it is working. It gave an error and said it, and I thought it was gonna bomb. So again, before we get started, there will be a prologue because I did scroll and make sure that I saw the prologue right here. So I will be reading that, and I bet that's probably gonna recap what I just recapped, probably, but that's okay. And the reason I'm glad that I actually scrolled through a little bit and looked through this is because I also have the director's cut. Oh no, Adobe, what you doing? Let me make sure I got my Adobe all sorted before we dive into here. Oh no. It's not showing it to you all, but I keep getting a pop-up that's saying drawing error. But anyway, there is a director's cut, which adds about 100 pages or so, give or take, for those that really want a thorough playthrough. And I originally thought, Randall, that director's cut was the entire thing, the 100 pages. And I was looking through it, and I was just thinking, like, I was trying to find, like, what level my character is and stuff. And I didn't see it on the director's cut, because the director's cut, those 100 pages are just bonus content if you want to do it. So yes, this, what can I do to try to kill Adam? Oh geez, Johnny's gonna kill me tonight. Yes, if you go to dmsguild.com, and there will be a link going through the chat every once in a while, go check it out and buy it. I just wanted to really point out that this thing by itself is 515 pages, and then the director's cut adds 100 pages to it. So you are gonna get your money's worth buying this one. And without further ado, I want to apologize in advance. I have like some kind of stuffy nose cold thing that's kind of annoying, but it actually doesn't seem like it's doing too bad right now. So we'll see when I'm an hour and a half into this how we're feeling. I should be good though. And now, without further ado, Fight of the for the Dawn Saber, or as we're calling it, Fight for Dan, by Randall Wright. Prologue. The end of autumn. A flash lights the sky and thunder rolls in its wake, breaking the tension of the mid-Marpinoth afternoon. The sudden downpour is one you've been expecting for hours. Dark rain clouds begin gathering over Waterdeep around midday, bringing with them the swell of the coming storm. Now the clouds are dropping their freight in torrents that hammer the roof tiles and dusty cobblestones of the City of Splendors. Shoppers on nearby Slipstone Street hurry about, clutching hats and hoods, holding packages overhead, rushing to escape the downpour. You take cover under the meager ledge above your balcony perch, trying to avoid the worst of it. You hope the rain will cool the recent hostilities that have gripped the trades ward, where you and your friends, the Slipstone Gang, make their home. 10 days ago, the killing of a prominent priest set Waterdeep on edge. The murder scene was horrific. Swaths of blood painted the feet of the Honorable Knight, one of the city's enormous skyscraping statues. Something powerful crushed the body into a pulp. What remained proved itself beyond the reach of the resurrection spells. By all reports, the scene looked like something out of the Hells. The killing was soon a subject of speculation throughout the city. The Watch felt enormous pressure to produce quick results. Relentless patrols began moving through the city, shaking down informants and hoping to find witnesses. Few residents have felt this pressure as keenly as the lowliest denizens of the city. Now, under the Watch's heightened security, rival street gangs have turned on one another, competing for begging territory and other legal employment opportunities. There have been several open fights, and a few of the old buildings in the trades wards have burned. Now soldiers of the city guard bolster the watch patrols, further militarizing law enforcement across the district. Those tensions are why you find yourself stationed here, watching for trouble down the alleys that lead to Slipstone Street. You glance in the window behind you, checking on your two friends as they practice with crossbows. The hideout's narrow common room makes for a functional shooting range, albeit a short one. Rufio is an excellent shot with the antique weapon, but bolt after bolt strikes a straw sleeping pallet hung by the door, each one of the satisfying thack as it lands. The Asimar looks at you for approval and then gives you give him an encouraging sign. Since you began training your friends in the skills of adventuring, I like that it's in quotes adventuring because, like I mentioned in the recap, apparently Harry Three Fingers is a failed adventurer. Rufio has pursued the idea with gusto. However, not everyone has picked up your teachings. Too Small has yet to display aptitude with any such aspect of adventuring, despite the shortness of the range. Her bolt shatters against the iron front door, missing the straw target by an arm length. The halfling's crossbow drops and her face takes on a faraway expression. That's the 4th bolt this morning, Rufio says. You strain to hear the gang's leader over the voice of the hammer and grain the slate tiles above you. Is there something distracting you? He asks. A movement from the alley below catches your attention and you don't hear Too Small's reply. 2 people are hurrying through the rain, just having come from the door beneath your balcony. You recognize the humans as the couple who run the bakery beneath your hideout. A moment later, the door opens again and a child runs after the bakers. She slows to jump in a puddle of rainwater before hurrying to catch up. The 3 humans don't go far. They come around the building and climb up the narrow wooden stairs toward the door of your upper story balcony. At your warning signal, Rufio throws a blanket over the bolt-riddled pallet and Too Small takes the crossbows into the back hall. Rufio answers a knock that has come soon after and escorts the guests inside. He sits at a long table with the bakers while the daughter wanders around the room and stares at each of the various decorations. You overhear a little from your position on the balcony. It seems the Bull Riders, a neighboring gang that owns a wagon like your own, offered to manage the bakery's delivery route at a lower rate. Ooh, competition. Rufio will have to negotiate less money to keep the baker's delivery contract. However, the rate is already so low that it barely covers Thud's stabling fees. Although your recent adventure earned enough gold to ease the gang's financial troubles, times are still hard. This likely means that you won't be able to buy any of that serious adventuring gear that you wanted for your friends who are practicing to be adventurers themselves. I think it was maybe Rufio had previously died while I was out adventuring, and they had to spend the 1,000 gold, 10,000 gold, whatever it is, to resurrect him, and that's why they were so in debt. And then that's why they were so keen on doing that adventuring contract during the first book. But again, it seems like this is going to be a kind of a standalone. Obviously, it ties into the first one, but it seems like this is going to be its own kind of thing. You turn your back to watch the alley and little rivers of rainwater swirl around the cobblestones, washing away a season of grime. Too Small joins you on the balcony a few minutes later, and you wonder if your shy friend is only braving the outdoors because she's uncomfortable in the presence of your guests. She carries a bowl of steaming broth in her little hands, which she offers up to you before closing the balcony. What's interesting? Too Small asks. Your halfling friend stands on her toes to peek over the balcony rail, then she jumps back as a gust of wind blows into her face. You tell her that's all's quiet and nothing exciting to see. Too Small doesn't reply, neither does she go back inside. The two of you stand with your backs against the wall and watch the rain come down. You've been worried about Too Small recently, as have the rest of your friends. Hardly a 10-day have passed since your gang negotiated her release from the clutches of the rival gang called the Crimson Puritans. Cool. That is the name of the rival gang from the first book. Crimson Puritans, so that's good. Silly Nils, you are just now getting into the very beginning. This is just the prologue of this one. You tell her that, it's quiet here. You've been worried about Too Small too recently, as have the rest of your friends. Hardly a 10-day. Too Small was her usual happy self for a few days, but recently, however, she's been sullen and prone to fits of temper. Rufio thinks the trauma of the kidnapping is only now catching up to the halfling, and she refuses to talk about it thus far. Now, as you stare into the gray haze of the storm, you sense that Too Small wants to confide in something in you, that she wants your help with something. You let the moment stretch out, filling only with the sound of rain. Eventually, she breaks the silence. I met someone, and we dated for a few days. This admission is surprising. Yes, it is. Too Small has difficulty talking to strangers, let alone flirting. To your knowledge, she has never dated or been romantic with anybody. You also wonder when she had time to meet someone. Your friends have been very protective of Too Small since her release, reluctant to leave her unguarded. I met him years ago. He's called T-Jack. We were friends in Greenest, and we lost our families to a dragon attack. I didn't know he came here with other refugees, so finding him was like finding a piece of home. But now that he's gone. The watch is holding him under Cookhouse Hall. Someone accused him of stealing during dock labor. Portfolio papers came up missing from a crate. The group was hauling, and I don't believe he would steal anything, and I can't prove his innocence, and so I need your help. You're relieved to hear this. You thought Too Small was about to ask for relationship advice, and investigation is closer to your set of skills. Something good adventurers do, and you aim to be a great adventurer one day. I like that I'm still trying to stick to the adventuring path and not just bail on it after one failed year. I know you're waiting for your next job from the Seekers, and I know that's important, but I thought you could assist me in the meantime. I mean, your help investigating this, we could clear T-Jack's name. I suspect that someone's framing him in his work to create a vacancy in the rotation of the available docks labor. Oh, shoot. Well, thanks to Adobe, there are 2 blank pages. So I think I'm going to need to relaunch this really quick, because I can't tell if they are going to be blank. I'm guessing they actually have stuff on them. Let me just pull that back up again and get caught up on chat. Johnny's trolling people again, like he ever stopped. Now, if I could remember where that file was, that would be really cool. Yeah, Silly Nose. This is a part 2 that I did a long time, a couple months ago, the part 1. But this is the start of a brand new. I'm gonna call it a one-shot, but really it's it's like 600 pages total, so it's probably gonna take me a little bit to finish this one. But I'll do recaps at the beginning of every one. But right now, I need to, here it is, pull this back open and hope that Adobe doesn't mess with me again. Come on, Adobe. You're better than this, Adobe. Okay, cool. That's a good thing I didn't just skip 2 full pages of content. That would have been very confusing. You are certain this is not beyond the abilities of you and your friends. You begin listing ideas for the investigation, starting by tapping Rufio's contracts in the docks ward, but Too Small interrupts. Well, we can't tell anybody about this. Too Small squeezes your hand, at the same time with a worried expression she's worn for the last few days. The reason we can't tell anybody is because T-Jack is one of the Crimson Peritons. Oh no, it's like Romeo and Juliet! You look through the window behind you, immediately worried that Rufio might have overheard this dramatic revelation. You're relieved to see him still at the table, still deep in negotiations, just talking about the Peritons is enough to set your gang's leader on edge. The Crimson Peritons. Am I saying that word right? Peritons? I hope so, because I've been saying it a lot, and I've got to say it a lot more. Started a feud as deep as any conflict started between street gangs can be, and that wound hasn't healed yet. No one knows how to say it. That's good. So I can't be wrong if nobody knows how to say it. So are you going to help me or not? Of course you will. You never considered refusing. The tiny halfling has been your friend for years. This investigation seems necessary for her to be happy again. But working on your own, without the help of the gang, is dangerous. Look, I've already thought this through. And I've already done as much investigation as was safe for me to do alone. There are some places where I need your help. Places I don't want to poke around by myself. Where I need someone like you to do the talking for me. You see now why Too Small is asking for help. Painfully shy, she's rarely been able to talk to strangers without freezing up. In addition to the physical protection of having someone along, she needs to question and interrogate people directly. I still want to investigate a handful of locations. It's going to take a couple days to cover all of them. I'm not sure which is most important though, so I'll have to prioritize them when we get to the docks wards. Too Small pauses and looks away. Did I mention they're all in the docks ward? The docks ward is the Crimson Peryton's turf. That must be another reason Too Small hasn't yet investigated the places on her own. More than just being dangerous, poking around the docks ward might risk the fragile truths between the Slipstone gang and the Crimson Perytons. After the Perytons kidnapped Too Small and repeatedly attacked the members of your own gang, you brought peace by giving them the Deep Winter Seal. Hey, that was the seal that we got. I was so close. I called it the something Winter Sigil. A prize you personally delved into a forgotten catacomb to find. Even now, you bear a mystical brand on your arm, a pattern of black marks that remind you of your adventure into the watery tomb of House Deepwinter last Primarch. After paying such a price, you are hesitant to poke around in ways that might be perceived as intrusive, particularly in anything under investigation by the Watch. That could be a dangerous provocation, one you're not sure Rufio would agree to. So I think I just read this on like the last page, but Randall, correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like this is, I think it's like a 10-day since book 1. Neither do you think Rufio would agree to helping one of the Crimson Perytons after the danger you put your gang in. Rufio was murdered last year, prompting the gang to go into debt to pay for the spell that brought him back to life. All signs point to the Crimson Perytons being responsible for that murder. All signs pointing to the Crimson Perytons for... that's the exact line I just read. This is not the right time to be seeking help from your rivals. You glance back through the window to check on your Asmore friend. He is still on the far side of the room, talking with the bakers. You notice their daughter at their feet, beneath the table. She's overturned a bucket of Belle's tinkering supplies and is playing with some of the half-made toys. The child pits some clockwork soldiers against an array of tiny mechanical spiders. The handful of corpses you took from the Animatron swarms that you have recently battled beneath the old Lantanese Embassy. Belle's toy soldiers are losing the exchange, and you remember that in life, the spidery swarm fought to keep you from reactivating a lost Lantanese portal at the behest of your mysterious employers. This is doing a really good job at recapping the last book. So yes, I was underneath the old Lantanese Embassy, and they were kind of a nomadic people, and they had a portal that our benefactor was asking us to investigate. Imagining the little spiders active again gives you chills of foreboding. However, remembering that conflict also reminds you that you face tougher challenges than the Crimson Perytons, a gang of half-starved hoodlums, poorly equipped and with no training to speak of. They are not a force that should be worry a true adventurer like yourself. So you brush aside your concern about the Perytons and begin to plan the investigation. To avoid your friends asking questions, you'll admit to you have to limit your work to late afternoons like this one, when most of the gang work or doing various odd jobs. That only leaves Rufio to distract. He tends to be around in the afternoons and working all mornings as an acolyte in the Monastery of the Sun. It is then that you spot a column of 6 figures walking on Slipstone Street. Stopped where it intersects your alley. Keep walking, you think, as though willing the patrol to pass on by. A moment later, they turn into the narrow back street and march directly towards you. Even from this distance, you see that all 6 wear treated overcoats to protect themselves from the rain, and 5 of them carry long halberds. Cool. You reach back and hammer your fist on the iron window frame. The measured pattern of knocks warns Rufio that the watch is coming. A moment later, your friend steps out from the front door, leaving your guests alone in the common room, and Rufio raises the hood of his cloak as he comes down the narrow staircase to the level of the street. He steps into the rain to meet the approaching patrol. It was only a matter of time before the watch got around to interrogating your gang about the recent murder. From your balcony above, you watch nervously as the 6 figures spread out around Rufio. The one without the halberd wears the colors of the watch. The other 5 must be soldiers from the city guard. You lean out from the balcony trying to overhear the conversation, but the rain is too loud. After a short exchange, the watch members put a hand on Rufio's shoulder. Deep rumble of thunder rolls overhead as the soldiers march your friend away from Slipstone Street, eventually turning out of sight. 1 second. Sorry about that. Yeah. Well, I needed Rufio distracted, and Rufio's now good and distracted. Alright, Randall, what's this all about? What's this giant Hydra thing? I think a lot of this, I will be able to skip. Making a character, so I'm using, you don't have to carry forward the same character from the last book, but I really liked Harry Three Fingers, so I thought I'd bring him back. And I think all of these should be good. Just kind of parsing through this really quick. Yeah. I forgot about gates. Okay.
Dad, I see you on the other building.
Yep. Yep, there's 2 of them. Okay, sorry about that. That's the last one, though. There's not a third, so. Tracking marks. So I do have my notes from the last one. So each chapter has page art. One of the changes I made was each chapter links to that instead of the next page where the chapter starts. I made that after watching you play and realized that links were skipping the awesome art. Oh, yeah, I probably missed a lot of art last game. So about this tracking marks, renown, I know I mentioned that my nose being stuffy wasn't affecting me the first 10 minutes, but boy howdy, 30 minutes in and it's already kicking my butt. I got my notes from the whole first series, and so I've got +4 renowned with the guild. Let me just search for, and I've got 1 with the watch. That's all I've got. But I think I'm good Oh. Man, my Adobe doesn't seem to be really liking me tonight. Chapter 1. One night in Waterdeep. Well, let me go ahead and just play the... all the audio or background music is from Tabletop Audio. And they literally have a Waterdeep at night. You are shocked by the abruptness with which Rufio was taken. You tell yourself it's no different than other gangs have suffered. 2 of the Bull Riders, the closest gang of yours, were taken and interrogated for 8 hours before being released. The murder investigation must be going poorly if the Watch is pressing for information from a group as small as the Slipstone Gang. You also expected Rufio's connections to afford him better treatment. The leader of your gang is a peacemaker, respected even by local Watch members. When you come in from the balcony, 2 Smalls at the door with your departing guest. Their daughter seems infatuated with Belle's toys, and 2 Smalls quietly insisting the girl take some of the toys with her. You return to the child's wave, and the trio heads down the stairs, and then 2 Small closes the door and stands on her toes to slide the security bar. We can't help him. They'll get him soon. They'll let him go soon. That sounds a lot less ominous. 2 Small turns and sees your incredulous expression. I'm worried too, but we have to just let it go. We don't have the power to change things. Running down the watch house is to demand his release is going to take us all in for questioning. This is divine intervention. This is Lady Tamora giving us a chance to help T-Jack without having to get anybody else involved. Blaming the luck of the goddess for Rufio's absence seems like a perversion of her divine providence. However, now faced with a stretch of hours in which the rest of the gang is all going to be absent, you must admit that this does clear the way for you to start your investigation without sneaking away or making excuses. So that settles it. We're going to the docks right now. Get pockets ready. Get pockets ready? It's heartening to see 2 Small excited to do something. I forget what pockets is. It's capitalized, so I think pockets is something. After days of sullen moping around, your little friend being busy and bustling into meter is starting to resurface. You walk down the back hall and let Pockets out of Rufio's room. What is Pockets? The Hound. Oh, it's a dog. Okay. The Hound runs through the common room where she races several laps around the long table. Eventually, she calms enough to let you attach a lead to her pocketed harness. And you check each of the pouches and then add some dried strips of herb-encrusted meat wrapped in wax parchment. You're not sure what meats Ace made these out of, but you know that Pockets loves these little treats. And I love Pockets. If you have the Friends of Gond. Oh. I'm glad I do have my notes pulled up. That sounds familiar. I do have Friends of Gond. I don't remember why, but I do. As you finish preparing Pockets to go out, you hear 2 small voice come from the other room. Are you taking those cobble hops? Your eyes are drawn to the open box by the front door. The recently delivered present is from Habrid and Glutch. Oh, yeah. My friends, yeah. My buddies, my gnome friends. 2 gnomes you met on the road to Waterdeep just before the Days of Wonder. They were happy to show you the telescopic footwear they invented to see over the tops of crowds. You didn't expect they'd send you some of the shoes, dubbed cobble hops. And you're not sure how you feel about the dubious gift. You remember how dangerous the spring of shoes were to be on the gnomes use them. So I've got cobble hops. And yeah, they're just like big. I think they can go up or down and make you taller or shorter. I don't think I'm going to need these. I am going to put them in my notes, but I do think 2 Small could probably use them. You stare at the cobble hots as they sit in their box, appearing every bit like normal shoes. As they look small, the insides of these shoes fit your feet perfectly. At least you decide they're only dangerous if you activate their springing mechanism. It wouldn't hurt to wear them out tonight. You pull off your normal footwear, with which Pockets hurries over to sniff, and you slip on the cobble hots. Oh, there's going to be a point in here where I need to be a 12-foot tall Minotaur, and I am all for that. Too Small comes out of her room wearing her best clothes. She's walking slowly, trying to fit a sack of books into a satchel that's too slim to hold them all. They look like ledgers or collections of her notes. The one on the top of the stack has the official seal of the city of Waterdeep. It must have been borrowed from the Hall of Administration. After several minutes, your friend picks one of the books to leave behind and finally gets the satchel strapped to close. Only then does Too Small see you waiting with Pockets. She motions you towards the front of the hideout, where a long row of pegs holds dozens of cloaks that Latchboy collected over the years. Most of these are for disguises, but Too Small finds a pair of oil cloaks the two of you can use to keep the rain off. She hands one to you along with a badge, a metal disc emblazoned with a blue lion's head symbol. We're going to be posing for security agents for the Lion Shield Coster. I've been looking through the public records, and I've got enough information about their operations to pass us off as employees. This should get us to the door at each of the locations we're going to visit. You examine the little badge. You've heard of the Lion Shield Coster. You don't know if masquerading as the merchant company's security agents will be effective or not. Still, the disguise seems plausible and the badges do not look official. You trust your friend's administrative wizardry, and she might not have the skills of an adventurer yet, but she knows her way around the bureaucracy and the city's regulations, business credentials. You pocket the little badge and open the front door. Outside, the rain hasn't let up. If anything, the storm has gotten worse. You see thin streaks of lightning off in the distance. The sight of the storm diminishes Pocket's enthusiasm to leave, but she follows the two of you dutifully out into the downpour. You may leave some of your equipment in your room at the hideout if you wish. No, I think I'll just go ahead and take everything with me. So we'll use this. So I'm currently on page 78. Oh, these aren't hyperlinked. So I'm gonna save these. Oh, I can sorry, I'm gonna do my first roll tonight, intelligence check. How'd that work out? Hey! Oh no. Well, I did a save. Oh, that's fine. That's the same as my check would have been. So I just got it. So let's find out about these Lion Shield Costers. So I'm on page 78 right now. It's searching. It's a really big document. Yeah, and yeah, I understand the reason they're not linked, so that since you could have it pulled up, and that's what I tried to do. So what I've been doing, like on duo rolling, is I've been having multiple things of the PDF pulled up so that I could quickly switch. Like I had a page that would have been just for lore, and I could have swapped to, but then Adobe decided not to let me do that. So this mercantile conglomerate is based in the river town of Yartar, east from the Sword Coast up the Tribord Trail. The Lion Shield Coster does not compete in busy markets like Waterdeep. It gained its wealth by servicing small towns in the region, places where other shipping companies wouldn't send goods or set up premises. In these places, the Lion Shield Coster is often the only source of refined goods. Yeah, so, and it is authentic. Cool. Whoops. So, I know them from Lost Mines of Phandelver. Okay. And of course, we were right here. Charm of Kinship. I think I remember that one. I think it lets me maybe not. I am going to see if this will let me pull up another one. Yeah, the playbook. That was one of my things I had pulled open too, was the playbook. So let me try to pull the playbook up. And that's another thing I had. So when I was trying to set up the stream, Randall, I initially just pulled open a bunch of these playbooks that are only 52 pages. I thought it was the whole adventure. And then I was like, oh no, that's not it. It's this. And I pulled up the director's cut, a bunch of copies of it that is like 105 pages. And then I was like, oh no, it's not that either. It's this 500-page document. Slipstone Gang. So we're looking at pockets right there. Let me see if my mouse is showing on the screen. It is no. Oh, it is. Oh, so we've got pockets. Too Small. Rufio. And right now, of course, I was looking up 124, the Kinship. Charm of Kinship. I know the light cantrip. That's good. When you take necrotic damage. Oh, the Kinship disappears after taking a total of 100 points. I'll have to tally that. Okay. And now I'm ready to go to 114. After I make another drink, of course. So while I'm making a drink, I can plug a couple things. We've got a new show called Lore and Pour. And Lore and Pour is, I like to call it Drunk History meets Dungeons & Dragons lore. Where I bring on a different guest every single episode. And we don't tell that person their topic until 30 minutes prior to the episode recording. And then once they find out the topic, they can take 30 minutes to research it if they would like. And if not, they don't have to. We can just hang out and we both drink. And then after we drink a bit, we hit record. And we act like that person is the leading subject on the topic. And then, yeah, whatever they say goes. There's no wrong answers, and I try to ask questions that nobody else has ever asked before. I have changed the format a little bit from the episodes that have currently been released to do more of a kind of drunk history format where at the first however many minutes they want to take, they get an open-ended summary where they get to just sit down and do a whole summary over the topic. And it's been a lot of fun. I did that one with the Gith, with Tim Lanning, which will be coming out in a couple weeks. And I've got an episode tonight I'll be recording. So I will be drinking for this throughout this entire stream because it will be right after the stream. So I got to get good and toasty. So if my reading comprehension starts to slow dramatically by the end of it, that is why. And I can't say the topic yet because I haven't told the guests the topic yet. It's going to be B from the Broadswords. And I'm very excited to do this one. And I will be giving B their topic in about 30 minutes. So very, very pumped for that. And enough plugging stuff for this moment. Let's get back into it. You lead Too Small and pockets through the alley toward Slipstone Street, where you find the city cloaked in hazy darkness. The day's last light is gone, and the storm has kept the children who work for the Lamplighters Guild from making their usual rounds. The obscuring rainfall adds to the effect, further limiting your range of vision. Disconcerted by the darkness, Too Small removes a lantern from her satchel and motions you toward the shelter of a narrow awning. You are in front of Aurora's Whole Realm Shop, a utility outfitter with locations in each of the city's districts. Even with no customers in the shop, the clerks are busy packaging products. Aurora's does most of its business by delivery order to the furthest reaches of the Sword Coast and the Heartlands. The light coming from the window is enough to help Too Small see what she's doing as she tries to light her own lantern. You pull up Pocket's lead, trying to get her under the meager cover with you. The dog looks amazingly thin, with her once fluffy fur now thoroughly soaked. Pockets resist your pull, preferring to investigate the runnels of water that crisscross the street in unusual patterns, but a crack of thunder quickly changes her mind, sending her scurrying to cover with you. That's right. That is exactly what a dog would do. While you wait for Too Small, you can duck into Aurora's Whole Realm Shop to do some business. Perhaps you can find some investigation aids within. The shop will sell any items from the adventurer's gear or tools table. It will also buy items. When you're ready to go, you will resume your journey, crossing the high road and taking Snail Street south towards the dock ward. You quickly find that your rain cloak is of little use in this weather so severe. You move from cover to cover where you can, and you try to avoid the puddles that flow over so much of the street. But even these protections cannot keep your clothes from getting soaked. As you approach a sleepy slith, a drinking hall with large windows from which a cheery firelight spills, you draw looks of pity from the patrons within. You are tempted to join them by the hearth, but Too Small strides on relentlessly, her lantern with both hands. The sleepy slith straddles the boundary between the three districts: the Castle Ward to the northeast, the Trade Ward to the northwest, flip those, and the Docks Ward to the south. As you pass the slith, moving toward Snail Street, toward the waterfront, you are entering the territory of the Crimson Peritons. You habitually check the various corners and rooftops as you go, expecting to spot one or two of the lookouts, but the rain has driven them indoors. Okay, let me real quick catch up on chat. Yes, the astral plane one was wild. Yes, never go to Gatlinburg or you get sucked up into an astral plane. Are you going to give the Twitch watchers tonight a sneak peek at the guest? I told Adam when he posts the episodes on social media he should mention the percentage of the info that's right. He said the astral plane was about 2% right. Yes. Oh, okay. And then Randall also said this is the part where I can begin the director's cut content. Yeah, as soon. Well, I can tell the Twitch viewers the guest now. I'm not gonna say the topic just yet until I tell the guest their topic. Wait. Are you going to give the Twitch watchers tonight a sneak peek at the guest? Yeah, I already said the guest. It's B from the Broadswords. And if you have the Dawn Horizon event code, I was thinking that doesn't sound very familiar. I do have the Dawn Horizon event code because the Dawn Horizon event code means director's cut stuff. So let me see if Adobe is going to reason with me. If it's going to work with me. Because if so, I can go to 129. There it is right there. Okay. So this is, we are now getting into the director's cut. And from here, I'm going to take just a very short break and pretty much just try to make my nose not so stuffy. so so that I could talk more, because right now I cannot breathe out of my left nostril whatsoever. So I'll be back in like 2 minutes, quick bio break, and then we will take a peek into this director's cut content of Eight Petals Argent Part 2. Be right back, everybody.
In a world where adventure awaits and danger lurks around every corner, an unlikely group of friends find themselves on the path to becoming heroes. But school will only get them halfway. Merlin, the human warlock barber guy.
Oh god, no, I gotta buff his butt! No! Can I refuse business?
Ubo, the turtle artificer.
Well, it doesn't work yet, but I'm working on it.
Ultrex, the discarded warforged paladin.
I don't eat or sleep or wear clothes, so I just sit in the corner and wait.
And Clyde, the Goliath barbarian in skinny jeans.
They're called skinny pelts, okay?
Find us on iTunes or wherever you download your podcast by searching for Halfway to Heroes.
Yeehaw! Welcome everybody to Shitty Cowboys. What in tarnation is Shitty Cowboys? We're an actual play Dungeons & Dragons bi-weekly Twitch stream and podcast set in the West Hollow setting. That's right, it's Dungeons and Dragons and Cowboys. What else more could you ask for? Follow Sean Marston and Jambalaya Pendergrass as they travel across West Hollow and get into some cowboy trouble. Find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/OneShotOnslaught every other Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and every other Wednesday wherever you get your podcast. Now go on, get to subscribing.
From the city that brought you Kentucky Fried Chicken comes Roll for Weird, a Monster of the Week actual play podcast. Join Philbert Fogel, Doomsday Prepper and Expert.
I mean, I'm kind of like the linchpin that's keeping everything together.
Lasath, the Divine.
And I still owe him my life, so I would have to end yours. It would be a mess.
Shadow, the Edgy Initiate.
I trust him with my life. I don't know if I trust him with my car.
Misty Charlotte Palladino, Spellslinger.
But I haven't set anything on fire that I haven't meant to set on fire.
Silas Lancaster, Elderly Vampire.
They broke the mold when they made Filbert.
Roll for Weird on Twitch, streaming monthly. New podcast episodes every other Friday.
Hey everyone, it's your Dungeon Master Adam here to tell you all about One Shot Onslaught. We are an actual play D&D 5e podcast that even follows some of the rules.
Rules? No one said there'd be rules.
We play through popular one-shot modules from DMsGuild.com so that you can drop in at any episode. We have Lord Sean Snow, the hero's hero, who is a 140-year-old human wizard.
I cast magic and missile up its butthole!
Death, the tiefling rogue who only eats raw meat.
Did somebody say meat?
The dwarf druid Ironclaw who loves nature almost as much as he loves oatmeal.
Cinnamon oatmeal, or get the F out.
And last but not least, we have Ted, the tiefling bard who loves to jam out on his magic guitar and skadoosh on his magic flying broom.
Skadoosh.
Find us wherever you download your podcast and follow us on all social media at One Shot Onslaught.
I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Gerundu.
And we are the hosts of Majestic Goose's newest podcast, Dice Talk. Dice Talk is a Dungeons & Dragons and tabletop podcast that dives into the deep topics of tabletop role-playing games.
Join us as we speak with passionate content creators, podcasters, authors, and more as we discuss all manner of tabletop and geek-related content.
Dice Talk is a bi-weekly show, so we're hitting your podcatcher with brand new episodes every other week, filling your ears with exclusive interviews and conversations that you can't find anywhere else.
Every episode is a new opportunity to hear from different creators in the tabletop community and just talk about Dungeons and Dragons and any other tabletop games that...
Alright. Sorry about that, guys. Longer than I expected. You read it too late. How can that be? You guys literally wrote the book on the astral plane. Yes. Just don't go to Gatlinburg and get in those hot tubs. I hope you can take Dayquil with alcohol. Because I definitely just did that. So we'll see how that helps me. And yeah, let's get into this cut content. Okay, wait. Danny said Adam, period. Danny, I literally just did that right before I turned my camera back on. What do you mean don't do that? Is that not how it works? Oh God, that's not a great... See, now how... You say it's not a great idea. Is it a good idea? Is it an okay, mediocre idea? You've got me concerned now, Danny. Well, you all can keep... This is going to... Oh, God. All right, well, you all keep an eye on me for the next hour or so, and just, you know, let an adult know if anything gets really rocky. So, yes, this is... I'm pretty sure most of the medication doesn't mix very well with alcohol. I asked my wife, who's a nurse, and she said, yeah, you can do that. I don't know if she knew I was drinking, though. Because all I said was, hey, I had some Dayquil at 4. Can I get some more right now, please? And she said, yeah, that's fine. I don't think she... I don't know if she knew I was drinking. So I just went with what she said. She's the adult in the relationship. Okay. Enough about me and maybe not doing super hot tonight. This is the director's cut. This content in this 103-page document is content that's not crucial to the campaign. It's just some bonus content that Randall, how do you get this director's cut? I know I was oh no, Danny just listed dizziness, nausea, vomiting, potentially hallucinations. Okay, this is a special invite, so sorry. I won't advertise it too much because I don't want people to get jealous. The first and most important location too small ones to search is the Helmstar Warehouse, one of the oldest buildings of the waterfront. It has stood for more than 2 centuries, enduring fires, wars, and earth-shaking cataclysms. Now I'm just thinking... Danny's got me worried now. Oh, it's going to be available as a bundle later. Danny's got me worried now that halfway through this goddamn stream, I'm just going to start to hallucinate. And I don't know. Things are gonna things are gonna get wild. And then I've got a podcast recording after it, so oof, okay. Sorry, jeez. I'm now getting into it 100%. We are on this. I'm gonna read that chat. The building's last renovation was 1465. Repairs were necessary after the Athkalan trade. Y'all, Dungeons and Dragons cities and factions and people's names are very hard for me to read, and I don't know why. That's got so many consonants in it. Trading ship slipped its mooring and collided with the seawall. The impact toppled the vessel's mast, which fell across Dock Street and stove in the Helmstar's roof. The locals never liked the ugly gargoyles that decorated the warehouse, and to this day they are pleased to describe how little statues flew away with the impact. The Helmstar is in the middle of Dock Street. This road traces the entire waterfront from end to end. As you hurry south, a wet gale buffets you from the direction of the harbor. The shelter of the out islands and their fortification walls are not enough to keep the wind off the water, and you can hear rough waves rolling in the dark, deep water bay, would normally twinkle with lantern light from dozens of ships here. But you can see nothing of the harbor through the rain. You imagine that The anchored vessels are bobbing perilously close to one another. When you get near the warehouse, you decide to consult with Too Small about how to approach the building. You point her toward the broad eaves of a shrine dedicated to Valcor, the patron of sailors. From the sheltered vantage, you look down the block where you can barely make out the stone face of the warehouse. It has set of cargo doors sized for wagon traffic and smaller door for pedestrians. Between those two entrances, a tiny guard shack projects out from the facade. You can see the light and movement within the guard shack, but no one leaves it while you're watching. You wait a long time, and eventually concluding that the guards aren't braving the storm to make their normal patrols around the building. You go over the plan with Too Small as security agents for the Lion Shield Coster. You're coming by for a surprise inspection of the facilities. If it turns out that the merchant company doesn't have any cargo there currently, you will claim that your inspection is a predicate to the company doing business there in the future, and you will threaten that the rumors of a recent break-in are causing your employees to rethink their plans for future business with the Helmstar. Remember, we're genuinely looking for any flaws in the security, so we won't need the guards to leave us alone once we get inside. If we get a chance to inspect their ledger, that would be amazing. But our primary purpose is to know whether the crate that T-Jack delivered could have been looted while it was sitting in the warehouse. Flaws in their security might not get T-Jack released, but there'll be good evidence for doubt in this case goes in front of the Common Court. Because Too Small is unable to talk to strangers without being overcome by her anxiety, her plan obviously relies on your powers of persuasion. However, she has not considered a stealthy approach. With the guards not making patrols, there's a good chance someone could break into the building, making from the back alley, thus looking around undisputed while also testing the security firsthand. So, okay, cool. I just, midway through that, I started also thinking about the medication again and started laughing. This is gonna be the first choice we get, gang. Since we're just now starting it, it's been, kind of like a prologue thing. But yes, we do make a lot of different choices in this adventure, and I always rely on chat to make that choice. So, are we going to chat, talk our way in, to approach the guards in the little security shack at the front of the warehouse? We go to 135. Or are we going to try to stealthily, covertly circle behind the warehouse and scout for another entrance? Those are the only two options. Shall we chat or shall we stealth? Two people immediately both, how's your charisma? Danny said, how's your charisma? Randall said, does Harry have charisma skills? So, Harry's charisma is... You remember, Harry likes to think of himself as a rogue, but is more legitimately a barbarian. My deception's a +2, so Harry feels like he's pretty good at persuading people. How's my stealth, you ask? A +3. And I can't remember how I got proficiency in stealth and proficiency in deception. I have no idea how I did that. It had to have been like my background's criminal spy. So, yeah, I've got... it's a point of difference between deception and stealth. So, whatever you all think would be more entertaining, me to try to lie my way through or me to try to sneak my way through. Be sneaky. Sorry, if you see my hand go up like that, it's me muting my mic so I can try to clear my nose. Yeah. Yeah. So, well, I'm sure I'm gonna have to roll a stealth here, aren't I, Randall? 151. You make several circuits of the warehouse, first watching for anybody that might be keeping an eye on the back of the building, and then later focusing on the security features of potential points of entry. When you're comfortable with your scouting, you leave 2 small in pockets a safe distance behind the alley before you approach the back of the Helmstar warehouse. During your examination of the building, you detect 2 possible ways to enter. The first is a 3rd-story window. The gap between the Helmstar and the neighboring warehouse is narrow enough to climb up within arm's reach of that window. The second option is the alley-facing cargo door, large enough to drive a wagon into. The door is closed at this time, but you might be able to bypass the lock. Okay, so picking locks. Picking locks. I don't think I have a thieves' tools, so I don't think I'm able to pick locks. I don't know. I mean, I made this character and I didn't get to pick thieves' tools. Yeah, I think it's Harry who is technically like a rogue thief but doesn't have thieves' tool. I should definitely buy them the next time I go to a shop. But right now, on my character sheet, I do not have these tools. But, chat, if you remind me next time we go shopping, I will definitely pick some up because I've got some gold. I've got a lot of gold. So I think it's either climb to the window or approach the guards. And while we pick climb through the window or approach the guards, I'm going to be sending a message to B. Their topic. And their topic is going to be the Feywild. So what we do is we actually have our patrons vote on topics. And our patrons overwhelmingly wanted to see a lore report about the Feywild. So let me just tell B real quick. Okay. Alright, there we go. Now B's got their topic, so when we hit record at around 9:30-ish, we'll see how it goes. So yeah, another reason to become one of our patrons. That's not it. Oh, that's not it either. Well, either way, it's patreon.com/majesticgoose, and you can go there and sign up for as low as like $1 and get a lot of cool bonus content. I'm not gonna have patrons vote on every single topic because then I'm worried about like people figuring out their topic. But maybe I'll do like a couple polls back to back or something so that people don't know exactly what topic they're gonna get. I don't know. So yes, barbarians are great climbers, Randall says, and I agree with that. Let's climb to the window. You turn your face up toward the rain to examine the 3rd-story window. It is only open a sliver, making it unsuited to catching with a grappling hook. However, the gap between this building and the next is only a few paces across, perfect for climbing technique called stimming. Placing your hand and foot on either side of yourself as you use oppositional force to suspend yourself between 2 walls. Oh geez, this is gonna be funny. If you have a climbing or flying speed, cannot. If your result is 11 or higher, go to 159. 10 or lower, you fall. I'm guessing this is athletics, right, Randall? Am I missing it? Is my medication making me miss this? Oh, here it is. Otherwise, make a athletics check. With disadvantage. Randall, Why'd you make the walls wet? Why'd you make it raining, Randall? Did that roll come through yet? Oh, 23. That would have been cool. Oh, 23 and a 21. Hairy Three Fingers with those hairy fingers are very good at gripping walls. Yes, 159. When you reach the third story window, you find the pane of glass pushes easily inward. You haul yourself inside out of the rain, and you find yourself on a catwalk overlooking an open area building. The 3-story structure has few internal rooms. Most of its space consists of cargo crates stacked in neat rows, some stacks reaching as high as the rafters. You wonder how the crates get moved around here. At first, you think that some magic must be necessary to lift such boxes to such heights. And then you see the industrial-sized hook and tackle sets, lifting contraptions that slide across the ceiling of the warehouse above each row of crates. These make it a simple matter to lift the crates one at a time, slide them along the end of the row, and then lower them to the ground into a wagon. Randall, Harry has not always been a very good climber, because if you would remember, it one time took me like 5 times to climb up that rocky surface to get to that tunnel cave thing. And I think I fell like 3 times and did quite a whopping of damage. The catwalk probably helps the warehouse workers guide the hanging block and tackle sets over each line of crates. The catwalk you are on looks little used. It has a single chair by the window. Next to it, a small box upon which rests an old smoke pipe and a half-empty pot of tobacco leaves. The label on the pot reads, Aurora's Whole Realm Imports. Examining the window, you find that it has a lock that has been left unlatched. One of the guards or a warehouse worker probably took illicit smoke breaks here, leaving the window unsecured. It also looks like the window should be alarmed. A pulley leads from a mechanism beneath the window to a set of chimes further down the wall, but that mechanism has been disabled. Thinking yourself fortunate that some employees' tobacco habit provided this opportunity, you follow the catwalk until you reach a narrow switchback stair leading to the ground floor of the warehouse. Oh yeah, I will take that tobacco and smoking pipe for 2 gold. Let me add that to my notes. Again, I'm so sorry, everybody, how just congested I am. That dang 5-year-old that you all saw a little bit ago, it was his damn fault. Came home from school sick one day with the cold, and 2-3 days later, bam. Go to part 142. Used to guard security at a hotel, and employees would go out for smoke breaks and disable the alarm. Well, it sounds like they should not have that job anymore, and I hope they don't. An overhead lantern provides light that the large interior space of the warehouse just brings enough light to keep you from running into obstacles as you move toward the center of the building. From the details too small revealed on your way here, the crate T-Jack was accused of pilfering from a valuable piece of cargo, one probably secured in a special location. Coming around a stack of crates, you immediately see a location that qualifies. You find a metal cage in the middle of the warehouse. It's directly under the hanging lantern. The cube of bars is about 10 feet across on each of its sides and has a single door on which hangs a sign that you can't read from this distance. Within are a few small, lonely crates. This area must be reserved for important cargo. As you approach the security cage, something catches your eye. In the other direction, you see a small stack of crates with a tarp partially covering them. What catches your eye is the blackened pieces of wood that spill out from the tarp. It looks like they've been broken and burned. I mean, I have to lift that tarp, right, y'all? I can't just... It says lift the tarp or continue. I've got to lift the tarp, right? Come on, chat. Let me lift it. Yeah, let's lift it, Danny. You approach the tarp and carefully lift the side of it. Beneath, you find a stack of boxes, all blackened by fire and some broken into pieces as if by an axe. It looks like there might have been a little fire inside the warehouse. Despite their charred exteriors, you make out a bronzy emblem on the boxes. It looks like 3 horizontal arrows in parallel set above a row of mechanical gears. Something seems familiar. I can make a history check or mercenary life if you recognize. I don't think I've got that. I guess I'll... Or I can do a religion check. I truly am not trying to metagame. You can try each check before choosing one. Yeah, I'm really trying to not metagame. So I am looking at my stats to try to, because I'm kind of building this character as we go, background wise. So my religion's a -1, so Harry Three Fingers definitely isn't religious. So I'd rather do a history check, which is also -1, but I feel like you can be... I feel like it's more likely that you could be bad at history just because you're bad at history than happen to roll well and be good at religion when you're not religious. So let's hope that history works out well. It always takes a minute for me to see it pop up on the overlay. Come on, what I get? The anticipation. Do I have to? I think I have to click it to refresh it. I do. Oh, baby! Natural 20. Fantastic. Oh, and you know it, and it's got different entries depending on what you rolled well on. The symbol on the crates belongs to Odarhest, a militarized force of merchants who armed vessels from the bulk of the Lantanese. Oh, the Lantanese are coming back. Heck yes, I got me a clue. I really, really missed this series. I really did. The center of the warehouse holds a curious substructure, an iron cage shaped like a 10-foot cube. The only door is secured with a heavy padlock. A sign hanging on the doors bears large common script letters. Warning. Alarm will sound. Do not open after sunset. Fortunately, you don't think you'll need to get inside the security cage to find any clues that might be here. You can see the entire interior by simply walking around the cage and looking through the bars. For too small sake, you hope to find some flaw in the security, or better still, some evidence that someone recently broke into this part of the warehouse. You begin your investigation with the padlock on the door of the security cage, a sturdy looking device. Padlock, backplate. So, padlock. I don't have magnifying glass or thieves' tools. backplate. To find clues by examining the backplate to which padlock attaches. Oh, heck yeah. An 8 investigation check? Danny, I promise, please remind me to go shopping and buy some proficiency tools. Oh wait, if you have the experience to examine the keyholes for subtle signs of lockpicking. So I just need the proficiency. Or have a magnifying glass. Randall, you said that and you got me so excited, and then I realized I do have it! I legitimately have. I've got 2 different tools, proficiencies. I've got dice set and thieves tools. So I do actually have proficiency in thieves tools. I just literally don't have a set of thieves tools on me for whatever reason. I definitely should have. I'll spend 5 silver to pick up a set next time I go shopping. So I get to examine this. 138. You lift complex padlock so the light of the nearby lantern shines into its dual keyholes. You squint to make out the first key pin in each slot. The brass show the unusual signs of wear across the top. A scratch over the center where snug-fitting keys would touch the pins. You see no unusual or off-center scratches, making it unlikely that pigs have ever touched this lock. Okay, so that means to me... Oh, dang! They cost 50 gold? I think I'll have that, but... Poof. Jeez. Seems like a lot. So this makes me think that whoever broke into this had a key, because there's no scratch marks. Oh, Randall! Oh, I was going to say, Randall, why isn't this linking? It's because it's right dang down here, ain't it? I will now also do a investigation check on the back plate. $13. That's good. Yeah, that makes sense. 148. Flat iron plates on the door and the door frame support the 2 shackles that the padlock loops through. They look very sturdy. However, your eye is drawn to a long line that crosses the backplate just behind the padlock. The shiny scratches look newly made. You imagine someone using a crowbar to break the shackle of the padlock. The scratch exactly corresponds to where the crowbar would need to be positioned against the backplate. However, looking at the padlock, you find no sign that it was broken. Wait, neither is the lock a new one. The masterwork lock looks old enough to have been in service for several years. Alright, one sec. Let me ponder this. Randall, I love this investigation little subplot thing here. Please keep these up because I live for these. I really enjoy this. Another thing is I just remembered after reading this and thinking about how much I like it, I remembered in book 1 how it was like Resident Evil 1 where you had to like collect different pieces before you could move to different places in the tunnels. Really enjoyed that too. Anyway, so this padlock was not picked. It was used by a key. However, it looks like the padlock was broken off by a crowbar. So somebody used a crowbar, broke off a padlock, and replaced it with a different padlock. Not a new padlock, an old padlock, but still replaced it, right? Chat, is that what you all are picking up too? So you don't think it was so... But then what were they doing with the... What were they doing? Trying to break it? I'm going to read this one a second time, actually. Flat iron plates on the door and the door frame support the 2 shackles that the padlock loops through. They look sturdy. However, your eye is drawn to a long line that crosses the back plate just behind the padlock. The shiny scratches look newly made. You imagine someone using a crowbar to break the shackle of the padlock. The scratch corresponds to where it would need to be positioned. However, you see no sign it was broken. Neither is it a new one. So you might be right, Danny. Maybe they tried but failed. Maybe they tried to break it, failed, and somehow got a key. I was thinking that they like broke it off and then replaced it with a new padlock so nobody knew. But I think you might be right, Danny. I think it... Okay. Spot magic. I don't have detect magic. So I can't do that. Search the area. Perception check. I think barbarians generally have pretty good perception. Generally, however, mine is a +0. 16. You know, some nights Roll20 hates me, and some nights it really, really treats me well. You carefully examine the security cage, including its sturdy iron bars in the area around it. You even get down on hands and knees to sweep aside little dust piles on the floor, hoping to find even the tiniest clue. You're about to abandon searching when you finally discover something odd. Near the bottom of the doors, it looks like one of the iron bars is a tiny splinter. You crouch down for a closer look, and you have found looks like a dark iron sewing needle stuck to the bars. You pull the object away, tugging against a magnetic resistance, and the object is a pair of needle-like shards of stone tied together with a short string. You are holding together 2 lodestones, naturally magnetic stones that, when dangled from a string, will tend to swing until they point northward. Explorers usually use to detect when getting lost in the wilderness. The mystery deepens. Just a heads up. This one will probably be wrapping up kind of soon. Not right now. Just whenever I get to a good cliffhanger. So that I've got time to just really make sure that I'm ready for the lore report after this. But next one, 2 weeks from now, I should be able to go all the way until 10 Eastern and make sure we cover a lot of ground. But I just wanted to let you all know before I bail abruptly on you all. Given how small these items are and how they stuck to one of the cage's bars, you aren't surprised that someone could drop them without noticing. However, you wonder why somebody would be using navigational tools in the warehouse. Arcana check. Oh no, see, this is something that I could probably piece together on my own. Oh no. Make an Arcana check. If the result is 15 or higher, you find the meeting. Otherwise, go to 141. So somebody could probably piece together what the meaning of that is. I cannot, in character or out of character. So leave. Oh. Dang. I checked it all. Yeah, I think I gotta leave. You'd have to be familiar with the material components of every spell. Oh, okay. Then that's not something I would. I was thinking like maybe like mathematically I could like think of like why would they need to be able to use navigation tools. You have a vague sense that you're missing something, but you can't think of any other angle of investigation to pursue here. You leave by the back door of the warehouse, first disabling the alarm mounted on the side of the door. Then you slide back the huge wheeled panel until there's enough room for you to slip past out into the rain. Looking about to make sure that you aren't being spotted, You head up the alley to where two small pockets wait. Then the three of you leave the sheltered alley and brave the windswept waterfront along Dock Street. Having concluded your investigation of the Helmstar warehouse, it's time to look elsewhere. Go to 23 of the regular adventure. So, I think that's a... Oh, look! I'm on 123. Is that right? Oh, no, that wasn't part 123. That was lore 123. Oh, wait. 1023. Yes, I was going to say, who the hell is Captain Resh? Thank you so much, Danny. Oh, I'll go ahead and read this, and I'll leave it with us making this choice. As you turn onto Blackstar Lane, you find your pacing dictated by the presence of shelter, increasing as you move through the uncovered places, and slowing while you are under awnings or amongst tall buildings that protect you from the rain. Near the intersection ahead, you notice a lone beggar outside of the Blackstar Inn. She sits in the rain, holding a wooden bowl at an angle that keeps it from filling completely with water. Beggars are ubiquitous in big cities like Waterdeep, but this woman draws your attention. She's the only person on the block, and the rain hasn't chased her into cover, although she huddles beneath her soaked shawl. I think this is a very good stopping play. A little early, I apologize, I'm sorry. We didn't get to play a ton tonight. I started a few minutes late, and then also I'm going to have to end a little bit early, and I do apologize for that, everybody. But we'll be picking this back up in 2 weeks' time. If you remember, Solo Rolling has gone bi-weekly now for two reasons. One, I didn't want to run out of solo adventuring content, and two, that's when we record Eclipse, which is our space-themed D&D adventuring, D&D space thriller, sci-fi adventure podcast. Of course, that doesn't work. Eclipse is out now. Episode 1's out. Episode 2 is going to be coming out this coming Thursday, 1 week from today. Every time it comes out, we also record that night, so that's why this is bi-weekly now. But go check it out. It's gotten a lot of really, really good positive feedback for the first episode and the prologue. And Jeremy Fair is the GM of that one. I'm a player. I get to play an Illithid Mind Flayer Cleric, and it's been a lot of fun. We've recorded 4 episodes so far, and all 4 have been absolutely fantastic. I'm really excited for y'all to hear more of that. I'm excited to play more of that. I am copying part 1023 into my notes to remember where I left off at, so we can get right back into this next time. Some other things to plug. Yeah, Lore and Pour, if you haven't yet, go check it out and leave it a 5-star rating review if you can, if you get it on like iTunes or Apple Podcasts. The first month or so of a new podcast, everything is just amplified tenfold. Every review, rating we get, every download we get, it makes us chart way easier. When I released just the trailer of Lore and Pour and it got like 40 downloads, 50 downloads, it broke into like the top 40 chart on the chart that it's on. So obviously you don't just need 40 downloads to break into the top 40 of Apple iTunes. It's just because it was so new. So you can literally, if you download and listen to all 4 episodes, counting the trailer right now, your 4 downloads would make a really big difference. Your rating and review would make a huge difference right now. Same goes for Eclipse. Eclipse came out the same week as Lore and Pour last week. Last week it came out. So go check out Eclipse's prologue, the lore prologue, the trailer, and the episode 1. I guarantee you will enjoy both Lore and Pour and Eclipse. They're both fantastic. Tons of fun. And then you can check out all the other stuff on our Majestic Goose Network. The end of this month, well, next Friday, we will be doing our monthly Roll for Weird stream, so go check that out. The end of this month, we are doing a Diesel, which is a brand new system that's coming to Kickstarter in March. And we're going to do like an early access stream of that, 2-night stream on the last Friday and Saturday of February. In April, we are doing our 24-hour extra live charity stream, so make sure you follow us and keep an eye out on that. And yeah, I think that's all I've really got to plug. Of course, all of our other shows, Half-Ready Heroes is about to wrap up its first campaign. Go check out One Shot Onslaught, that's about to wrap up the first season or campaign. And check out Dice Talk and Roll for Weird and Shitty Cowboys and all the other good shows on the network. Just go to majesticgoose.com and find out everything there. Support us by going to patreon.com/majesticgoose. You can give as low as $1 a month and get a shout out on a bunch of our different shows and a whole lot of other really cool bonus content. And yeah, thank you all for watching. It's been a lot of fun. Very excited to get back into this next time. And next time, I promise you, I will not have something scheduled afterwards, so that we can actually play all the way to 10 o'clock, if not later. We might just bring the house down, just stream to like 10:30 next episode. Who knows? We'll see. So thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye, everybody.